This is the Night Owls Disc Golf Podcast. I'm Shane.
And I'm JP.
And I guess we're back for another one.
We are back for another one.
Back for another one.
Yep.
So, door_disc_golf, night_owl_pod. Those are the Instagram handles. And then doordisc.com, where you can buy all your disc golf needs. We do have a new drop or a new fillings of new MVP and Discraft. And I believe, hold your breath, we might order some more Prodigy because it's actually selling really well.
Wow.
Yeah. So I'll make a statement here. And some of you that listen to us for a long time aren't going to believe I'm going to say this. But the new Prodigy plastic is really nice. I kind of hate it. But yeah, the new Prodigy plastic feels nice. It doesn't feel like it's going to rip your fingers off.
Okay. Matt and I were going through some of the discs the other day. Mm-hmm. There were a couple molds. I believe it was a couple of the X discs that did have a little bit of flashing, like right on the inner rim a little bit.
It's because of the old molds.
Oh, okay.
So they said they were going to send us all brand new stuff.
Yeah.
And they did not.
Oh, really?
They did not, yeah. But the majority of it was.
Okay.
But there were, you're right. When I went through it, there were a few that I was like, this isn't nice. And then I like started looking at it. I was like, wait, this is some old stuff.
Okay. It could have been. I'm not sure. Because he showed me, he's like, this is my box of like all old Prodigy stuff. I was like, oh, okay. So I didn't realize that there was anything still maybe out on the shelves.
Oh, well, no, because I think they sent it to us. I think it was just stock sitting on the shelf that they kind of pushed in. So maybe they haven't molded all of the molds in new.
Oh, that could be
in the new plastic or new runs or whatever.
Yeah,
but they might just have a surplus.
That could be. I agree.
Yeah,
like I felt some of them. They're pretty good. I do want to try. Now that we're talking about Prodigy, they have their like soft plastic. I think it's 400 soft.
Yeah.
I do want to try that.
Actually, at the tournament today, an old sponsored Prodigy player we were playing with, and he despises Prodigy and loves that new plastic.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
He was like super about it. Like I was like, really? Because I was like, the new stuff feels pretty good. And he's like, I know. I really like the soft plastic. And he's like, I'm never going to go back. But so it was fun. But yeah, so we'll have that, and then we got the Shorewood Spring Opener coming up, PDGA C tier event at the UW Green Bay campus, and I believe we are pretty darn close to full. We may or may not open it up for a few more spots, but as of right now, we are almost pretty darn full. So if you hear this tonight or tomorrow or whenever you hear it, or there might be some spots left, maybe not, but it is this coming weekend, the 12th.
3 spots. That is all that is left.
3 spots left. Yep. So,
oh, boy. You know what's funny is there really wasn't that many filled up like a week ago, and it's really filled up.
Well, the weather's supposed to look phenomenal.
Okay.
So looks pretty good. It's supposed to be like this weekend, really, just with no wind, but who knows? I don't trust weathermen or apps that pretend to be weathermen, or ChatGPT for that matter. That's a whole different thing.
Okay.
So, so that's that. I think that's all the updates. What'd you do this week since last time we spoke?
It was a short week, actually, because we had an episode Wednesday.
Uh-huh.
And then, gosh, what did I do this week? Not a whole lot. I went out and tried to throw discs today. It was really, really windy.
Super windy.
Which, it was fine, but I brought out, when I left the house, I didn't realize, because up by our house, it wasn't that windy. And then when I got down to the sports complex, it was really windy. So I brought out some, like, a little bit of understable things just to check them out. I threw the cigar. I can't roll my R's.
Cigar.
And it was okay. Tough to say, like, in the wind, because it was like left to right cross, right to left cross, and like any little bit of hyzer wind, it was like 30 miles an hour. So just dumped or tipped over, and just really hard to get a gauge on it. But I like the feel of it. I don't bag any Discraft drivers, and I might feel like I want to bag it.
Yeah.
I-
it's
It's kind of surprising. Like,
Yeah.
you know, I have the old Night Strike 2 in the bag, but I would consider bagging this, I think.
it really reminds me, rim shape or anything, they're not the same. So there's a little convex on the
Yes.
bottom of the rim.
Yep, there definitely is.
And the FD does not have that.
Nope.
But it reminds me of an originals FD.
Yeah.
Is what it does. Like
And
an
that's what
old
Matt-
school FD.
That's what Matt said. He's like, it flies like it's got close to Eagle numbers, but it flies like an FD.
It does. It does.
Yeah.
100%.
And it's weird because for them to put this out and say that it's a more stable cicada, I was like, well, how bad, like how far off are the numbers with the cicada if it's a 7.5 minus 1.1?
Right.
Then it's got to be like a 7.5 minus 1.5 or 2.1.
I think they have it as a 1.5.
Okay.
I can't, maybe. I don't remember exactly what the
Yeah.
numbers are. It is more stable than the cicada, but I mean, it's kind of like a,
Stability number, like the Shigara is like a 1 point, shoot, I thought this said like a 1.6 or something like that. Or 1.5.
well, the Discraft number is a 1.9, I think.
Okay, maybe that's what.
But that's the Discraft number.
yeah,
like the
right.
old school numbers.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, it's a nice disc. I mean, it's like it's that danger zone for me. I have so many of those discs
Yeah.
in that realm that are they're beautiful flyers, and it's all about the feel of your hand. But
Yeah.
that's that realm that I just fall in love with, and I personally did not play with it as far as like in the round,
Yeah.
but my partner in doubles played with it, and he throws hard. And it flew like an arrow with just a slight drift the entire time.
Oh,
like
okay.
a slight drift on the turn the entire time. It was a beautiful flight. Like it was a great flight. You know, for me, stood up, went straight, finished. you
Yeah.
know? So,
yeah. Interesting.
but it's a beautiful disc.
I'm just glad that the big thing now for stability wise is like the Passion has it, the Latitude 64 Glory has it. They started putting beads on the rim, like
tiny beads, yep.
Yeah, and I just the feel of that to me is I just hate it. Same thing with the FD1.
Yep.
Casey White's FD1 and the Skywalkers. They put it on the rim, and I just that feeling of having that. I don't know. I just can't get
The
with
only
it.
thing it does is adds finish. That's it.
Yeah.
It just adds a little bit of finish. And it's, in my humble opinion, it is not worth it. Especially with drivers, because you're gripping those things so hard and you want them to just like pop right out of your hands. And man, that thing, like, it tears your fingers up. Any bead, like the Scorch does it to me, like
Okay.
those type of, like, I just don't like the Passion. It's
Could
like,
you imagine if
ugh.
that had flashing on it too?
Oh my goodness. And some of them did when they first came out, the Scorches anyways. Man, they no. It's like for a driver for me, beadless all the way. Like you put a mid or a putter in my hand, I like beads.
Yeah.
But drivers, no way. No way.
And yeah, another disc I got my hands on, the Canyon from Trash Panda.
I saw the picture, yeah.
Yeah. So it's I think it's 4302. It's supposed to be
Okay.
slightly overstable. It's really straight.
Okay.
But when I threw it today, it's really straight. Like I threw it with my Fractal A2, which I threw for the first time, and I threw it with my Z Flex or Crystal Flex Zone.
Okay, yep.
And it definitely held just straight. There was very little overstability
Okay.
with it. I like the feel of it. It's got a pretty decent sized bead on the bottom of it, and I
Okay.
know they retooled it compared to the prototypes. The plastic's nice. You know, it's obviously the recycled plastic.
Yeah.
It's pretty flexy, pretty straight or pretty flat. Not a lot of bead. Definitely not as beveled. More rounded. Kind of like it's got almost like a Gator feel to it,
Okay.
or like an old MD5 feel to it, but it's
Right.
just not as dumpy and overstable. But I liked it.
Yeah.
It's worth throwing.
That's funny. We were talking about the MD4 today too.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I was just saying how I got it was an M4. I'm sorry. We were talking about
okay.
the M4, the Prodigy. Because
Yeah.
I was like, I got one that was absolutely magnificent. Donnie Ferguson gave it to me. And then every other one I've tried has been garbage since then. Like they're all different. I don't know.
Okay.
Or maybe I just throw differently now. But yeah, the MD4 is more stable. Like that's kind of a meat hook, right?
It is. Yeah. Shoot. I feel like I don't remember if it's a discontinued or not because Discmania remade the MD5s just a couple of years ago, and so I was throwing the
It's like a Justice.
I was throwing the Mutant, and that we've talked about being the cyber truck and super dumpy, and I switched to the MD5. And I was like, okay, I like the hand feel because it's more rounded. It's not as doesn't have all the angles to it and everything, but it dumps super hard.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I might
threw
have to
the
go back
Gator
to the
for a short. I threw the Gator for a short while, and that I felt there was at a point where I could throw it decently. But as soon as I lost any power in my arm, it was dumpy. It was just like dump, and just it was kind of a worthless disc. Like the Justice gets that way as well, but it's a very utility disc for me.
Oh yeah,
and it doesn't dump as hard. It almost has a forward push. The Justice, maybe I'm wrong, but it used to, anyways. But yeah, so I got to try a lot of discs this weekend because I played a lot.
Nice.
So it's stuff that like I threw in my bag and kind of forgot I had in my bag for a long time. And it was just one of those like, oh, I'll throw it in here and try it. And then I'm like, I'll stop playing now. So I stopped playing for a while. And so for those of you who know, I played in a tournament this weekend. But I got a Buzzsaw.
That was a player pack disc, right?
Yeah, it was. Well, I'm pro, but I still got one because I was just like, I want one. And I was like, yeah, okay. So I got one, and it's a beautiful disc, orange top with a bright yellow bottom.
Ooh, yeah.
Like for the Buzzsaw. It is amazingly straight.
It is.
Like super amazingly straight. It's not it's a buzz, but it's not really a buzz.
I would say it's closer. It's like it's not the 5.5 -1.1. It's 5.5.0.1. I would say, or close to that. It's,
you mean 1.0 or -1? No, 0.1. Yeah. I would say that.
It's straighter. Like you're not going to get much turn out of it.
No.
I mean, for my arm speed, it's really straight. Compared to like my ESP buzzes that I would throw, it just stays straight.
It's just it is straight, and it doesn't really fade. I mean, I threw it about 4 times actually in the tournament.
Okay.
And that's what it was. It was point like. Here's the most overused phrase in the disc golf world is point and shoot. It still had some high speed torque resistance. And not saying like, so quite legitimately, my power right now is about 410, 415. And it held up to a full power shot.
Okay.
But slight drift and then just barely finishes.
Oh, so you had to get a little bit of turn out of it.
Yeah, so I got a little bit of turn out of it.
Okay.
But nothing horrible. So I throw everything on a slight hyzer. So this kind of just popped up, slight drift, and then finished. Like not finished, just like kind of landed,
Sure, yeah.
And it was a beautiful, like I really, really liked it. It honestly reminds me very much of like a old MJ ESP Comet, like anyone's gonna know what that is, or like the new Drawbreaker Flex Comets, like Z Flex Comets, like they're really good straight point and shoot, just kind of land flat. And just as for
I was going to bring this up because someone mentioned it. Someone had said something to me about this, but yeah.
So I got someone the best discs ever created into their bag. They were so resistant. So Matt Yadis and I, who made a bet with me and completely one-sided, just so you know. I was just like, hey, if I beat you tomorrow, just straight up, like score to score, stroke to stroke, you have to bag the Comet for the rest of the year. And he goes, okay. Nothing else. There was no counter offer. No, nothing. Like I had 0 on the line. He had the Comet on the line.
Yeah.
So I won. He took the Detour out of the bag and put the Comet in, and he has to keep it in the rest of the year. And he said he threw it 3 times today, or 2 times for sure. and I got video proof. He loved it. Like,
No, really.
birdied both times, parked both holes. He threw it on.
Okay, because it was funny because I posted that you had won the tournament, division yesterday, and Matt goes, "Boo!" I was like, "Why are you booing Shane for?" He's like, "Well, we had a bet, and I have to beg a comment." I was like, it's funny that Shane would put that up as your bet.
Yeah.
It's like he loves that disc.
Yes.
It's like.
Yeah.
And so Matt didn't tell me what he had to take out of his bag or what he had to replace it with, but
Yeah.
he is trying to do that whole. He's gonna. I don't know if he's gonna make videos of it or whatever, but he's trying to build out his new bag.
So he
Yeah.
reduced the size of his bag.
Yeah.
And he's being very particular of the discs he put it in there.
Right.
So I'm actually really surprised he said yes to the bet. But I'm not disappointed because it truly is a great disc, and it's actually it's a slot that he needs and
Okay.
wants. So it fits all of it. He just doesn't like the hand feel of it.
Got it. Okay.
And I just told him, like, he's going to love it. It's just a matter of time. You pick up a Comet, like Foundation Disc Golf guys, they call it the people's buzz. I mean, it's really good. I mean, it's less stable than a buzz, of course.
Yeah. I keep getting Comet and Meteor mixed up all the time.
But yeah, Meteor is a lot less stable than
Yeah.
a Comet. Like a Meteor is, it's really less stable.
Yeah.
But the Comet is, people give the Comet kind of it is a classic rock. It's essentially what it is. It's a larger diameter classic rock. I mean, feel everything. Like
Yeah.
it's a classic rock for the most part. Yeah, but it was good. So, quick tournament recap for me. So I did take down the MP40 division. There were only 4 of us, but still took it down. And this is after my last tournament was Vegas of 2023.
Jeez.
That was my last
I suppose
tournament.
you haven't played the Fall Classic at all because you're co-TDing it.
Co-TDing it.
Yeah.
And then springtime last year, I wasn't here for it.
Yeah.
I set it up and then I left on vacation.
Yeah.
And then, so I just haven't played. Like, I mean, did I play a flex last year? No, I don't.
I don't know. I don't think you did.
I didn't play a thing last year. So yeah, it was, I had 0 expectations because I haven't even played a round this year. Mm-hmm. I went out and threw at Bailey's for a little bit with my kid. I think I said something about it but that was it. Like, I've thrown maybe 30 discs this year,
Yeah.
And I go out and I was really worried about my, shoulder pain. I was really worried about a lot of that stuff.
No
And
sling today.
No sling today. Like,
Yeah.
I actually feel pretty good. And the courses we played, one is a short wooded technical course for the singles event, and then one is a wide open bomber course. It's a golf course. And I was really worried about the bomber course. We started on the short technical course, and I didn't do great. I didn't do bad, but I didn't do great.
Mm-hmm.
It was like a 930 something rated round. Mm-hmm. And then went out to the bomber course, and I was really, 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 really focused on making sure I warmed up really well, before the round and did everything. So, and once I finished warming up, I crushed it. And I didn't know where, because you don't throw full power on the other course. Like on Wildberry,
no.
you never throw full power. So when I got out there, I had no clue. And I started on hole 2, which is like a 500-ish foot, 560, something like that.
Yeah, it's long.
It's a long.
At Maxwell. Yeah.
Yeah.
And because you go across the fairway and it's up on top of a bunker.
Yeah. On top of a hill of a bunker.
Yeah. It's a par 4, right?
It's a par 4.
Yeah.
Yep. And there's a couple guys in the field that can get it to, but nobody gets up on the hill because it's kind of a spine.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
I feel like the first time I ever saw Matt throw before his shoulder surgery, he got it almost to the mound.
Yates?
Yeah, I feel like he
Really?
used to bomb and could almost get it there.
Yeah. I wasn't doing. Oh, it's my son's FaceTiming. That's weird.
Can I have Dad?
Yeah, he's probably, can I have more time? Yeah,
I
he's
remember-
inside. He went upstairs. Yeah.
Oh.
I was like, is he outside or something? But yeah, I remember Matt used to throw pretty far too, because I remember playing with him a couple times before. Actually, I don't remember. I don't remember at all.
I just remember him and another guy going to a playoff at Max Welton.
Nope.
Oh, it wasn't Matt?
No, that was Isaac Finnick and
Oh, I thought it was Matt.
no, that wasn't Matt.
Shoot.
Ian. No, it wasn't Ian. No, but I remember because I had to watch it.
Yeah. Because like the first hole, one of them dinked a putt, and he's like, you're gonna like we're gonna end
then
it
he
like
dropped
this," and
it
then
on
he
the
dropped
ground.
it on the ground, and they like finished it on a
Yep.
hole two.
No,
yeah.
that wasn't Matt. That was Isaac and. Anyways, I can't remember
Okay.
who it was,
Okay.
but because I missed the very last putt, like I caged front side 13 for that 3-way tie. That was that time where I came in second.
Okay.
And then Michael that year, I want to say, was pretty darn close to us as well. I think it was the 4 of us that were like chasing each other.
Got it.
And I remember everybody like commenting, like I kept getting texts and people were coming and watching the card because us 3 were on the card together. And
Right on.
But it was anyways. That was a fun year. I was 19, I think, or
Could
18
have been.
maybe.
Seems like that's quite a while
it
ago.
was a while ago. Yeah,
That might have been the first year we had good weather.
I think it was. Yeah. Geez, the first year sucked. Well, anyways, back to it. So,
Yeah.
and we started off on that hole. So it was like, I think it's a 560 something.
Yeah, it's long.
And I was just like, I'll give it like a 95. I don't want to like throw my shoulder
Yeah.
out. So I'll give it like a 95. And I had my tone salt is what I chose. And I just hung it out there and I was probably, we ended up using my drive. Well, no, that was during singles. So obviously I used my drive. I was maybe 110 out. Like,
Nice.
So I was like, all right, like,
Wow.
I guess this is going to work. And then the next hole is an uphill 360. It plays probably about 400, but it's an uphill. Like
that
that's
the
the one
next-
that's kind of across the hole and it's in the trees.
Oh, yeah. See, I thought it went to that other one where it was in a cluster of trees, but like it's go down a fairway and it's off to the right a little bit.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh, it is?
That's one.
Okay.
Yeah,
One's down to the one next to the parking lot. 2.
Up to the spine, and then
I
3
think
is the
hole
one.
4 is the one that
Oh,
ends
no,
up on the
rock.
Up on the rock.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
Okay. That's one.
that's unreachable.
Yeah.
There's
That one
nobody that reaches that one.
sucks.
But so I go to the next one, and I'm 10 feet from the base.
Jeez.
Off of that one too, and I'm like, okay, I guess I have power again. Like
Yeah.
all of a sudden, I haven't had it. I haven't had it for probably 3 years. Like I don't think I've hit 400 in probably 2 or 3 years. So I was like, where did this come from? So I have no clue why or how, but it was working, and all day. I mean, it just worked. So did really well. Ended up coming very end. I honestly thought I lost, and I thought Nathan Wolter got it. And I laid up and then just kind of tapped in because it was a spine.
Yeah.
It was on the other spine, so hole 5, the short one.
Yeah.
That's up on the bunker top.
Yep.
And that's where we finished. And I just got really lucky is all it was. I just kind of laid up to it and tapped it in and just got really lucky. That was kind of the deciding hole.
So there's
No, I finished there today. I'm sorry. I finished on 1. Like an
Oh,
idiot.
okay.
Yeah, I finished on 1.
obviously we talked about it a little bit, I think, or maybe just between us that there is coursework going on they're putting a sprinkler system in.
Yep.
So how many replacement holes were there? Like none?
0.
Didn't have to do anything.
There was a couple tee pads that were moved left or right just to get out of
okay.
construction areas, but the course was unmoved from last year.
And then you were talking
the most
about possibly. So you didn't have to. You were talking about possibly having to move 6, which is a longer. That's also I think 500 feet
Yep.
or so, and it ends up on top of
A
a.
little more than that. It's
Is it
like,
a little more than that?
It's like no, it's a little over 6. I thought.
Oh, is it really?
No, that's 8. No, that one's like 570 something.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because like 8's super long too. On the backside, is the basket still up in the tree?
No, they don't let us put it in the tree
okay.
anymore because we got to put screws in the tree, and they don't want us putting screws in the tree anymore.
That makes sense.
But no, it was a really good, it played really well. It seemed like most people were happy. But what ended up happening was I got there. So just quick. So I set up the course. I'm the one that designed and set up the course. Well, it was door
Advantage.
disc, and then, yeah, exactly. But yeah, we've just done little tweaks. But over the last 3 years, I've been the one that's set up the course and done everything. And I came out Tuesday, and there was essentially lakes. The course was holding so much water. There were giant piles of dirt, open where they were running the sprinkler systems, or open trenches in the middle of the fairways.
man.
And I didn't know about it. no one told me about it or anything. So I show up and I'm like, crap. Well, I found out about it like Friday before I went because I emailed everybody and they were like, well, this is happening. I'm like, good to know, guys. Thanks for telling me. So it was an absolute disaster when I showed up. And so much so that I was kind of considering like, Josh, we might have to cancel this. Like, I didn't say that to him, but I was thinking in my head.
Yeah.
And then I show up Wednesday to kind of place all the baskets and they were out there working. And I was like, oh, great. They're working. Okay. And then I show up Friday because Thursday I went down to Jackson. I show up Friday just to place flags and tee markers. And they had cleaned almost everything up.
Wow.
So much so that Saturday morning, there was only one spot. It was hole 4, the one that goes up the hill on the rock.
Yep.
Hole 4, there was still a giant mound and a giant open hole next to the tee pad. They filled that in, took the dirt away, and everything was just like, a little muddy.
Dang.
But
Okay.
everything was like perfect. Not perfect, but it was doable.
Yeah.
And so essentially, it didn't look good, but it played just fine. It didn't inhibit. There was no danger. There was no nothing. So
Nice.
I was like, man. So within that week, they cleaned up that entire side of the course, and and they just went over and worked on the other side.
Huh.
So yeah, it was really well. But yeah, so I came down. So I won MP 40 by 1 stroke. Came down to essentially the last hole, which was really nice. First tournament back, like I said, a year and a half, and kind of take down the win. So it's kind of nice, $220 payout, and I got a little trophy for it. So
Yeah.
it's pretty nice.
That's cool.
I'm not a bridesmaid. I broke
No.
broke the session. So I think I have like 3 or 4 career wins now, and this is my second MPO win, or MP40 win. So I'm pretty happy about that. But then we played doubles today, and we put down what I thought was blazing rounds, a 15 under and a 14 under, and still lost by like 7 strokes. Just like, how is that possible?
Gnarly.
Yeah, but went really well. But everything felt good. Sore, obviously, not throwing that hard over the entire winter and for the year prior. Like my tricep is just like tore up. My back, is kind of a little tore up and sore. So I'll be sore tomorrow for sure. And by the end of the round, the second round of today, which we played long second round, by the end of that round, I was done. I was useless. Like, I was still hitting decent, like 380-ish, but with playing with these guys, like these guys are throwing 450 to 500, and I'm just like, hey, the old
Jeez.
guy, you want to wait for me, So, but it went really well though. I was happy I played, and I just like being back out on the course with guys
Yeah.
again. It's just fun, BS and making fun of each other. But yeah, it was a good card we had too. So both cards were good. So, but I think outside of that, I don't know if there's anything else. I bought a new mountain bike.
Hey.
I don't have it yet, but I bought a new mountain bike.
That's
so
cool.
I'm gonna be selling one of my mountain bikes. So if anyone needs a Polygon Siskiyou T8 in the size of large, let me know because I'll be selling that one. All
That's a mouthful.
It is. All right. With all that being said, MCL, Music City Open. So I actually watched some of this stuff because my family was out of town and I was
Ooh.
here.
Hey.
So last night I laid in bed and just watched MCO recaps.
Nice.
And then watched Simon's vlog about it.
I watched
So-
day 1 vlog.
Yeah.
I didn't watch today's. And then I watched MVP MVP's practice round. It was Simon, Eagle, and Silva.
Oh, I didn't watch that one. Yeah.
So that was interesting. Windy. It was nice. It was because obviously they played from different tee pads, different and everything. So Silva actually talks pretty good English. Like it's weird. Well, because you don't hear her on other podcasts or doing a lot of things, and she was actually. She actually interacted with a bit awkward on camera a little bit, but she did interact with Simon and Eagle and talk a decent amount. So that was nice.
Yeah. The only other time you hear her is the interviews, the DGPT interviews.
Yeah.
And there you're kind of nervous. It's in your face. And she speaks fine there, but her accent is more. And it's been a year too.
Yes. Right. And then I watched a little bit of the Jomez practice round with, they had Nicholas, Ben Calloway, and Kevin Jones.
Oh, okay. Okay.
And he's doing coverage with Big Germ.
Oh, okay.
and Big Germ did not play, which was too bad for him. But
Yeah. Yeah. So Jomez, you said?
yeah,
And there's no Nate Sexton?
no Sexton, and Yuli was actually playing this weekend. I don't know. I was listening to an old, because Yuli mentioned Throw Down the Mountain.
Okay.
But that was last weekend, I think. So
Yeah.
like I was catching up on a Tour Life episode. So yeah, I think that was old. But yeah, I don't think Yuli was there.
Okay.
So, interesting.
Okay. Well, good. Yeah, so it was good. I mean, I watched FPO and
Yeah.
then I watched just the recap of the MPO.
Okay.
So I watched FPO and essentially it was kind of the same names up top.
Yeah.
You know, Salonen and Saarinen and Saarinen? Yeah.
Yeah.
Salonen, Saarinen. And then Lat, Handley, you know, Gannon was up there too.
Yeah,
For a
she
while
was.
for the first round.
Yep.
And then it just turned into the Lat Saarinen show. Like
It really did.
and that was it. And
Well, actually, Holland had a really good. I didn't watch it today, but I was following scores, and Holland had a really good round today to kind of make up a little bit of ground. But I mean, she wasn't going to make up as much ground as she needed to, but she played really well.
yeah, those two just got so far ahead of everybody else. Because what was 9 and then a 14 under they finished at, essentially, and then went into a playoff.
Both were at starting today. They were both at 14 down.
Yeah.
and Missy was at 10 down, and Ella Hansen was at 9 down.
Yeah. Yep.
And so, yeah, I mean, they were kind of setting pace, pretty good on lead card.
Well, and Salonen she was right there with them that first round. She was doing really well. I mean, her drives
yeah.
were just phenomenal. Like she was doing so good, and then just fell apart. Not fell apart, but she did Salonen things. Like
Right, she did.
yeah, but
So,
But all in all, like great tournament. Seemed like they had to cancel the last practice round because of muddy tee pads or muddy conditions.
yeah.
And then they went forward with playing. And then they ended up canceling another portion, didn't they?
Yeah. So what happened yesterday was, so they canceled originally like Thursday. They were going to have the match play event. Got completely rained out. They were going to try to delay it. Weather swept through. There was massive tornado warnings, high winds, rain, hail, you name it. They went through it. And then the course actually like got really flooded and wet. And so they worked really hard on restoring the course to be able to play, which they did a pretty good job of. And then as of yesterday, the MPO had to be cut short because of weather.
Yeah.
And so Casey White had the hot round of 12 down yesterday, or second round. And then a number of people, Macbeth had to, he got cut short. A lot of people got cut short.
Yeah.
And so they ended up they cut the field and ended up finishing up MPO this morning before FPO actually went out. And then Jomez this morning put out a little post saying that all MPO round 2 and round 3 coverage would be coming out tomorrow.
Yeah.
So it's delayed by, each thing is delayed by half a day. You'll get your normal round 3 like as scheduled, but round 2's delayed. So
Yeah.
it's coming.
Well, especially with the split rounds like that. And then,
Yeah.
I mean, because what can you really do? You can't really edit and put things together once you call around like that.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So, it was interesting. I mean, definitely some interesting weather and time issues and like all that fun stuff. So, but I guess in the end of it, we had 2 winners.
Yeah, right.
And they weren't repeats. Well, actually, no.
No.
Yeah, 1 repeat. Yeah, 3-peat rather.
3-peat.
And then, so we had Chris and Lat, so Tatar, ended up taking it down in an impressive fashion with a big putt from outside circle to take it in a playoff.
Yeah.
Against Saarinen. So, but they were like just neck and neck the entire time. Like it was incredible. And they were just changing lead and like there was really no point that you didn't see Saarinen at the top.
Well,
But Lat was down there to like 6th place for a while.
She was. Well, she was on lead card first round. Like she had a -3. She was tied with Evelina. And then she kind of like played really well. She set the course record
Yes.
round 2.
Round 2, yep.
And then
Just after Kat Mertz set the course record. So she had it for about 35 minutes.
yeah, 35, 40 minutes it lasted. And then Kristen comes in and like, hey.
By 3 strokes. Because it was a 9. It was an 8. And then Mertz set it at 9. And then she put it down a 12.
Yeah, 12 or 11, something like
11 or
that.
12. But
Yeah.
today she put down a 12, wasn't it?
8 down for Kristen today.
Oh, it was? I thought it was a 12. for some reason.
Holland had a 10 down. And then it doesn't look like everybody else that was in had pretty, was it either even or positive? There wasn't a lot of, Cameron had a 5 down.
Okay.
Yeah. But I mean, Silva, what a tough break. She had the lead up 3 strokes going into 16, right? Ends up bogeying 17. Kristen birdies out. Silva ends up parring 18, so they go to the playoff. And then Kristen ends up with a putt from inside the circle. Silva had a putt from circle 2, I believe. No?
Kristen had the outside the circle.
Oh,
as
she
well.
had the outside the circle. Okay,
Yeah.
I forgot it flip-flopped then. Okay. That's what it was.
Yeah. And she putted first and banged it. And then
Yeah, okay.
that was it.
I could have sworn it said, I thought, so, because like I was just like watching it and I was like, putt from inside, from circle 1, putt from circle 2. Okay, I must have flip-flopped it.
Yeah.
The way I was looking at it.
No. Well, so I think she might have had a putt but missed it from outside the circle. And then
got it.
then Kirsten had hers, and when she drained it, it was over at that point.
That's what, because it got real weird on the PDGA Live app because like it said Kristen won, and then it said something about they're on hole 17, which was the playoff hole, and then it flipped. It's like, okay, we're going to do through 2, and then through back through 1, and I was like, this is getting really goofy on like what they're saying, and it wouldn't update right away, and then finally after a while, they got it right, and it's like, okay, whatever,
Yeah.
stupid, but.
Yeah. But she came through. I mean, like, some of the criticism she gets sometimes she can't finish.
Right.
You know, if she's not ahead, she can't finish and come back.
Well,
like,
she's come back a number of times since
now
people have
she's like
said that.
Yeah. And she's kind of saying, like, yeah, prove me wrong. You know, like,
You know, Silva's really young. She's what, 21, 22, something like
I
that.
don't know.
I think she's around that age, but the pressure you feel, like I can only imagine with having Kristen breathing down your neck.
Yeah. And there's a large enough age difference and player like capability difference that I bet you Silva kind of looks up to Kristen.
I would think so.
I would assume so.
I would think a lot of people do.
Yeah, I would. I kind of do. Like,
Yeah.
wish I could play as well as she could.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Dude, her putts are nails, man. They are so good.
Yeah.
I mean, she struggled a little bit this week, just ever so slightly, but they are just nails, man. Like, she puts them in the air and they're in the basket. It's just incredible. Just incredible.
I wonder. So, obviously, we talked about it Wednesday that this was the first event with PDGA betting,
Oh, yeah.
right? And so, I'm guessing people bet heavy on Kristen to win, but there had to be a period where people were just like, "Oh God,
Yeah.
she's down and sitting after the first round, like
Oh, I never
a little
thought
bit."
about looking. See if there's like a Reddit thread about it or something.
Yeah, I think there is, but easy money.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Well, that's good. So then Nicholas Antila wins. I didn't
Finish
watch the
cowboy.
last round.
No.
But that's it. I mean, he took it down, and it was over who?
He beat Nicholas and Gannon shot the same round score of 13 down.
Okay.
And so he beat out Gannon, Austin Turner, and Paul Macbeth, who going into the final round was in the lead. He was at 15 down, tied with Austin Turner, and then Nicholas and Ezra Robinson were at 13. Casey White shot up. He had the hot round. He shot up 36 spots, shooting a
Jeez.
12 down yesterday. And then Gannon was sitting in ninth at 10 down. He was tied with a bunch of people. And so, yeah, he shot a scorching round.
And what did Macbeth shoot to lose that? Or did just everybody just leapfrog him because they were doing so good?
So Macbeth ended up shooting. He only shot a 7 down. So people did kind of leapfrog him. He was kind of playing safe. He birdied the first 6 holes.
Jeez.
But Nicholas birdied the first 7 holes, and then Macbeth went parred the next 5, birdied the next 3, got a bogey, birdie, bogey, double bogey to finish out. So
he was going for it.
He was going for it, probably like just pushing it, you know. But I still think that the way Nicholas and Gannon were playing, like you're gonna have to by the time he had those 6 birdies and then started parring, the feeling to like make up strokes. You're just like, am I going to catch them? Can I catch them? You know, I'm like this far behind now.
Yeah.
But
Macbeth has a distinct advantage over almost every other player in the field, though, because he doesn't need the winnings.
True.
You know, like he just simply doesn't need the winnings. So he's playing for pride. Like
he is.
He's playing for the win.
Yeah. But it's amazing because he's been in every tournament and in position to win in every tournament, just can't shut the door.
But he's getting closer and closer and more consistent.
Yes.
Is what you're seeing. So you're seeing little improvements almost every single week that he's in a tournament. So I don't know. Are we going to see Macbeth take one down? I mean, we talked about it.
We did. We said that, I forgot what we set the line at, 1.5, I think.
Yeah. So I think he has to win 2.
Yeah.
And I think we both picked the over. He's a big yawn. So, well, it's good for Nicholas and good for Kristen again. So,
Finish cowboy.
Yeah, that guy's awesome. I like seeing him win. Like, I mean, obviously there's like, I'm fans of other people. I'd love to see them win. Like Macbeth, I'd love to see him win again.
Yeah.
Gannon, you've won enough. You can hold off for a little while. But Antila, like, that's awesome, man.
Yeah.
That's so awesome. So
reigning champ, Simon was going for 3 in a row, and he ended up finishing in 28th.
Yeah. He had a really rough first round. His second round wasn't much better.
No, it really wasn't.
And his third round, but you know, his third round really wasn't that much better either. So he just kind of played like mediocre. You know, couldn't really put anything together.
Yeah. Because I watched the Jomez coverage, and like I hadn't seen Austin Turner play a ton, and I was pretty shocked at like how good he is.
Yeah.
I know he's good, but like just watching him play, I was like, oh, okay, yeah.
He can throw a disc.
Yeah.
he can throw
really
a disc
can.
really far. Like really far. He's very surprising at how well he can throw a disc, you know. I don't even know, like, is there really weak spots with him? I mean, maybe it's a consistency issue.
It could be.
Because he can putt. I mean, his up shots are fantastic. Like, he has a complete game. But there's so many young guys like that are just like this close. Like, there's just something holding him back. Like, so close.
That's very true.
So, man, he's one of them for sure.
Actually, there is, like, you look at some of these other guys, like, in the top 10 with him, like, you see, like, Marweed. He's fairly young. Like, Isaac and, Ezra Robinson, they're still relatively, Adam Hammis, Silas Schultz.
Yeah.
Silas Schultz is still, like, really young. Like, they're all in the top 10 this week.
And Silas Schultz, I love that guy.
Yeah.
He's awesome.
So, Ty Love, actually, it was funny. I was watching scores today. He's tied for 13th today, but he was actually in the lead for a little while. It's just like there's some. Paul Kranz was up there too. Like he was up like at the top of the leaderboard for a little while when I was like looking.
He's
earlier.
Young.
Yeah, he's really young.
Because he's still, 17?
I don't know how young. Yeah, like 17, 18 maybe.
Okay.
Yeah. So, I mean, yeah, just all the talent. It's crazy. And then you look out at some of the names that missed out. You got like Nico, Double G. These are guys that got cut before the round because of the cutoff. And I know Andrew Fish this morning when I was on social media, he made a post saying that he's pretty disappointed that they had to cut before the round because there's a lot of these guys that ended up with that were negative, and the last guy who was actually above them, this Jason Lawson, he ended the tournament at +1. He shot +6 for the round, but he finished above the cash line. And so all these other guys, are down, were below him
the
at
cat, yeah.
and he just happened to have a bad round. So that's just the way it goes.
You didn't have a chance to fight back into the cash,
right.
Yeah.
But there's a number of names that had to be cut today because of weather and timing and everything.
So one thing to point out also is that Paige Pierce was there and crapped the bed. Like, was just not Paige Pierce. Like, I have heard nothing of Paige Pierce this year.
Right. Let's see.
Well, I mean, maybe she won that one. Maybe she won one. She won like the off C tier or A tier. I thought
last weekend she did win a tournament.
Yes.
Hooters something or other. Mm-hmm. And then this weekend she finished at +9. So she did not make the cut to move on
to the third day.
Yeah. But I mean, there's again like a good amount of women who missed that, just off that should be up in there. Like it's very interesting.
Well, what about Paige Shue being up there in the Action 2 top 10? Like, she had a good rounds. She had some really decent, just solid rounds. And she's always known for not throwing far.
Right.
But she seemed like she did pretty well.
She wasn't happy with her putt.
Right.
Social media wise, she was saying, "Oh, I really didn't putt great," but she ended up tied for 20th cashing. So
she came down quite a bit today then.
She had a +4 today. Yeah.
Ooh,
for the round. I mean, she had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 bogeys and
no birdies then, right?
2 birdies.
Okay.
So I thought no double bogeys.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that sucks. Because she was right up there. She was like, I think she was 6th coming in today, and then she ended up dropping down.
Yeah.
She was up there. She was up there. So, we'll see, because we got Go Throw coming up with Eagles Crossing next, which I'm excited to see that because I just want to see the course. We've only seen it a couple times.
Yeah. I mean, if you've watched Skins with Go Throw, they've been there a couple times. Then they had the big Skins match, which was the complete flop.
Oh, that was garbage, yeah.
But it'll be interesting to see more competitors because, with Skins and the big Skins matches, there's only 4 people playing. So it'll be interesting to see more people go and see how they attack the course.
Exactly. Yeah. And it's from what I have seen of the course, it's a very challenging course. Shot selections and shapes are mandatory,
And
it's
there's
not just
a good
rip.
amount of OB out there,
And water.
And water, yeah. I had heard that the owner, I think, I don't know if he has, but I think they're putting in another course there as well.
Oh, that's great.
On the property. I don't know what the course name of it is or anything. So I don't know if it's completed yet, but that's what I've heard.
Cool.
Do you remember when Eagles Crossing first came out, his goal was to have, I think, one of the big tournaments.
I thought he was going to
there.
try to have the worlds there.
Worlds are like U.S.
Yeah, or USGGC. Why would he do USGGC?
Yeah, why would? But yeah, maybe it was something. It was a major or something like that, and maybe this is like a way. Obviously, because Go Throw is trying to go and put on all these courses that aren't getting the exposure
which
from DGPT.
Kind of should be, but
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting if enough people go there, right, to play. I'm sure like players have gone there on their off time or checked it out, at least, within traveling.
Oh, I'm sure, yeah.
That they wouldn't at least mention it to Jeff to be like, we need to get here.
Right.
Or maybe they have,
But it also, there
I don't
might
know
be
if
those
it-
complications of
live.
and owner, because I've heard he has a very particular vision.
That is true.
And he wants to be in charge. This is speculation and just things I've heard. So maybe it's just not possible with the requests that he's making.
Maybe.
Or maybe it's just that they don't want to. I mean, and maybe it's a cell phones coverage. Maybe it's who knows?
That could be.
Who knows? Because I know the coverage sucked for the
Big Skins.
big money skins.
Yeah, it did.
It sucked.
So
They had the very first one they did was that post produced with Stokely and Heimberg, and
Well, that was the big money scam. Then they had to do post produced.
it was the same one.
It was the same one. Like they had the issues with live, so they decided to scrap the live and just do the post produced. I'm pretty sure.
Was that the one where they had that horrible announcer?
Yeah, I think so.
I thought that was two separate things for some reason, but nevertheless,
Yeah.
it's super cool. Whatever it is, it's super darn cool. It's a great course. And anytime I'm playing anywhere, that's kind of like a bucket list destination course for a lot of people that I play with. They're like, yeah, I got to get out to Eagles Crossing one day.
I think Mike played it. Mike Harrington?
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
He played it, yeah. And then next weekend we got KC Wide Open, so on the 18th. I guess no explanation needed on that one because that's been going on forever.
Yeah, it really has.
Long time. So I think wasn't that where McCabe won his Worlds, was at the KC Wide Open? Well, the courses.
Yeah, I think so.
I think it was. So
Pretty sure.
yeah, maybe I'm wrong. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, either way. I know I've seen it quite a bit. So all right. Ready for the question?
Yeah.
No. Happy fingers. Ready?
Yeah.
All right. If you had one ability that you would want to improve or get, what would it be? Like a real ability.
A real ability.
Real ability. Like just like when I say ability, that sounds like it's like a special power. No, like just if you could improve or learn something new or get something like some sort of ability or skill, what would it be?
Well, I do want to get better with my video editing. That's one thing. And then I think I should probably just get like a book, like a
book.
whatever for dummies
Yeah.
kind of thing, you know.
Video
No,
editing for dummies.
because I have I did at one point, like when I first got my computer, I got they have Final Cut Pro, like that's the video editing software on top of like iMovie or whatever.
Yep.
It's a little more upscale. So I did buy Final Cut Pro for dummies. And so
Okay.
I've gone through it and like not read it extensively, but I've used it for troubleshooting and things of that nature.
Sure, yeah.
So I just want to get better at that. And then there's things in GarageBand that I want to get better at with editing, sound and stuff.
Right.
So those are two things I want to work
Okay.
on a little more.
So editing.
Yeah.
All right. So for me, I think the thing that it's an ability or skill that I've always wanted to be better at, and I have actually made it a very focused effort to figure out how to be better at it, is being more personal and especially names. I have sucked in the past with names.
Okay.
And I have started to actually like read books. And have you ever read the book Limitless? It's not like, so there's Limitless, like the fictional, like fun, haha, like, but there's like a book called Limitless, and it's about a guy that was essentially mentally retarded and fixed himself.
Okay.
It's way overgeneralized, but he had a brain injury.
Okay.
He couldn't really remember things.
So he's like, had to like relearn a lot of
and
stuff.
he relearned him like stuff, so he's kind of like some powers of
Yeah,
the
yeah,
brain,
yeah.
you know. But it just like I had this is an embarrassing story, but not embarrassing. It's just like kind of shameful. Customer's been coming to us for about 6 or 7 years.
Okay.
Like I could tell you about his family, tell you about his wife, tell you about all these things. I had no clue what his name was,
Oh no.
and he called me out on it.
Oh really?
Yeah, and you know, like I'm perpetually called Sean.
Yeah.
My entire life.
Okay.
I've always been called Sean. And there's people that have known me for decades that still call me Sean. So I've never put any like meaning behind names, but I've also found through like leadership training and, you know, personality assessments and stuff that names mean a lot. Like having someone say your name is really important.
Yeah.
And I was just like, man, with how many people I deal with on a yearly basis, like my staff, like I owe it to make sure that I learn that. Like I know people, but I don't know their names.
Yeah.
And I had an experience at an event I was at where we had to go around and look people in the eyes and say their name and then say, you know, I pick you or I don't pick you. And there was no insult if you said I didn't pick you. But if you didn't know their name, so we'd only been together for about 8 hours at that point. If you did not know their name, you had to look at, and we were standing like nose to nose. I don't know if I've told you this yet, or if I've said it, but you were like standing basically nose to nose, like eye to eye with these people, these guys. And you had to look them in the eye. And if you didn't know their name, you had to say, I don't care enough about you to know your name. And then say, I choose you or I don't choose you.
Oh, wow.
You had to look them in the eye and say this to them. So if I didn't learn someone's name, I had to look them in the eye and say, I don't care enough about you to know your name. And I don't choose you. Like,
Ooh.
what a blow to the ego, right?
Right?
So from that point, and also having people say that, because you stood there and they said the same stuff one way or the other. Like either they know your name or they didn't. And I was just like, that is a crappy feeling.
Yeah.
You know? And I do that to a lot of people. So I was like, I got to stop this, because I've known people for years and I'm just like, that guy, you know, like
Yeah.
it was horrible.
Yes,
So,
right.
you know, but I've noticed a difference in my communication with people too now, because if I repeat their name, you see it. There was one guy we were talking about, and I remember his name, but I'm just not going to say his name. But he was talking about his 2 kids, and I reset his kids' names, and he was like, he lit up and he's like, you were paying attention. And I go, yeah, I'm trying to make sure I remember people's names nowadays.
Okay.
Like I'm just like really focusing on it. So there it is.
There's a guy, almost like a similar story, like to the name thing on the radio the other day. He was talking about same situation. Somebody that he had seen previously somewhere came up to him at an event, and for the life of him, he couldn't remember the name. And he was talking about it with the other radio host, and he said now instead of saying, oh, like, good to see you, because that implies that you remember, like, the person, and he'll just say, nice to meet you again, or something like that. If, you know, just to be like, hey.
I could see how that would make sense.
Right. Like, if you don't remember, hey, nice to meet you again, you know, like, kind of like a reintroduction situation. Well,
and one of the things that, so between those 2 things, so obviously the thing that I was at, it was really intentionally made to make you feel horrible about not knowing someone's name. That thing I told you about, like, I don't care enough about you to know your name. But so there's that opened my eyes, but also in one of the books, in that Limitless books, basically it says, like, it's okay to not remember someone's name. But if you ask for that person's name again, like, really make it a point to know their name, because you know, then it's really insulting.
Yeah.
Then it's like, okay, this guy truly doesn't care. So then they teach you some tricks of how to remember it. But basically what you do is you just say, hey, man, I'm sorry. Like, I didn't remember your name. Could you tell me your name one more time? I'll make sure I remember it this time. So I've had to go back to people like that I've known for a long time, and I've said that, like, I am so sorry. I forgot your name. Can you tell me? I won't forget it again. And then I play this game where I'll like play a little jingle, or I'll say something, or I'll like connect it with something, or like I'll do a little rhyme behind it, you know? And then I try to use it a couple times while I'm talking to the person, and it's been working. And I'm that guy that I was always like, I suck with names. Don't even think I'll remember your name, you know? Well, it's working. So there you go.
Right on.
That's what I'm working on. So it was funny. That wasn't the intention of why I said that. But then I was like, man, I've been working on that. So I'll do that. Like, good. I want that ability.
Yeah.
But there's a couple people in my life that I've met that will meet somebody, and every little detail about that person they remember.
That's crazy.
Like, it's incredible. And their names, like, they won't see them for a year. Like, we had a young lady that worked for us that was phenomenal at this. And I'd walk over and be like, Amy, what's her name?
Okay.
You know, and I'd like count on her. Like, she was just like, oh, that's so-and-so from it. And I'm like, how do you do that? You know, she just did it.
Yeah.
Like, so I was like, I want to be like that. Like,
Sure.
I want to be like Amy, you know? Just remember everybody. So anyways, there you go. That's that.
Cool.
Anything new, fun, or inspirational to leave us on?
No, I don't have anything. Last episode I had the whole stay hydrated thing. But
Yeah.
This week I don't have anything.
That was a good
right
one.
now I don't have anything right now.
Oh, speaking of stay hydrated, straddle putt on a knee,
Yeah.
and then your hamstring cramps up.
Oh.
Luckily, I was with the old guys. They all understood.
Okay. Speaking, you have this crazy story today. I'm at the sports complex, and there's some families there down the way. They're trying to play basketball and everything. And so this one guy is with a family, but so he's there to move the Zamboni machine for the ice skating rink.
Okay.
And so he gets on the Zamboni machine. I can hear him like turn it on and like try to get it going, and it's having a hard time. It's propane.
Sure,
So like he's got to open the tanks and everything and do everything. He gets it. He gets it probably 200 feet, 250 feet or so. Like he's got to get it out to the, onto the road. Like it's still in the parking lot and everything.
Sure.
It just dies. And I was like, oh man, what? And so he and this other guy are like looking at it, doing all this stuff.
And that's not something you can push, like Zambonis.
We pushed it.
Oh, you did?
Oh my God. So here's what happens. So he makes this turn. He gets it 215 feet, makes a turn to go out the driveway. And it just stops. And I was like, oh, this sucks. He's like, hey, can you get around me? No, everything, no problem. I was like, oh yeah, there's plenty of room. And so he's just kind of explaining to me how it worked. He's like, oh yeah, I'm like, I can smell propane. Like there's a leak for sure.
Yeah.
It's an older machine. And all of a sudden, this other guy comes popping back out of this minivan that he was talking to. He's like, do you think we can push it? I was like, I mean, I guess we can try. So the three of us, two of us are in the front, and then he is on the side helping push, and he's like steering it with the steering wheel. So the three of us ended up pushing it into a parking spot. But
pushed it backwards.
Pushed it back into a parking spot, and we had to push it probably 75 to 100 feet.
Yeah.
from where it was into a parking spot. And it was like one of those things that they teach you to get low when you're pushing, and that's exactly what I did. But
dude, those are heavy.
My calves were on fire.
I bet. I bet.
And I'm like, that's my story for the day.
Jeez.
Apart from almost hitting a car with a disc as well.
Oh.
I was playing hole one, and like the big crosswind came, and this car was just coming past the outfield, and I didn't see it because there's the trees, like the pine trees down at the end.
Yeah.
And I threw my zone up on hyzer, and the wind caught it, and I was like, oh, it's pushing. All of a sudden, this car comes out of nowhere, and I'm watching the disc, and I'm like, no, and it I don't know if it slowed down or it sped up, but it went right over and landed on the road right next to the car, and the car just zoomed by.
Oh
and
my
I just kind of waved at the guy.
Did the guy know?
I don't think he even knew.
Oh,
I don't think
okay.
he even knew or saw that it was in the air or anything.
Oh my
like
goodness.
That. Yeah.
And that dog park gets a lot of use too.
It does.
That thing.
Yeah.
Man. Yeah. That's scary. That's one of those like butthole pucker moments in disc golf, like when you're next to a road and you throw, and all of a sudden the car shows up, and you're like, oh,
yeah. I mean, it was the zone, like the flex zone, so pretty hard, not devastatingly hard.
It wouldn't break a window, but it might dent. Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah,
yeah. I don't know.
Yeah, who was it that hit like that first year we had it up? Someone nailed a car. With a high-speed driver too, and that's not a long hole either. But someone just absolutely nailed the car because they were trying to play the skip off the road, I think.
Yeah.
And they hit like the quarter panel or something.
I don't remember who
it was.
Could have been Tyler or something.
It might have been. Because I remember that when they hit it, there was like no remorse for hitting the car. I remember in there, like they were just like, "Well, it's a disc golf course," and I was like, "Dude, you just smoked a car!" Like. And I remember it being a truck. I don't remember what it was, but anyways.
Yeah.
So, all right. Look both ways before you throw a disc. There it is.
There it is.
All right. Keep us up, par. Peace.